Picture this. It's the dawn of 2024 and you're poised for success. Why? Because you've established your why. This isn't just a whim or a hobby. It's the passion that propels you forward, the core of your ambition. Next, you assess your current position. Where do you stand? What are your strengths, your weaknesses? Honesty is key here. Now, envisage your destination. What do you want to achieve by the end of this year? Set those goals. Make them smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. With your destination locked, it's time to map out your plan. Break down your goals into manageable steps, then start stepping. Remember, action without reflection is aimless. Record your results, analyze your performance, and adjust your plan accordingly. The path to success in 2024 isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Take meaningful action, keep your eye on the prize, and continually strive for improvement. Here's to a successful 2024.
Welcome to the show. Another Thursday morning here in bright, sunny South Africa. So greetings to all of you. It's really good. So today we're carrying on with part 2 of our purpose. And I want to tell you a story just to introduce the whole process of what we're doing. So this is not my story. It's a story I've read. You might have heard it. There was this wise man. And this wise man, he was on this mission, and he came into this village, and there he saw a whole lot of men sitting there chopping stones. And they were chipping away, and he looked at this and he thought, what are these people doing? So he went off and he walked around, and he saw all these men busy, and they're chopping away in the heat of the day, and they're making these taking these stones and making them square. And he says, what are these people doing? Why are they doing this? So he goes to one man and he says to him, and he's looking a bit tired, and he's just chopping away. He says, what are you doing? And the guy says, well, can't you see? I'm chipping away at a stone. Oh, okay. So he walks around and he sees a lot of people just in this same space, not feeling so great, and just chipping away, sweat pouring down, chipping away in the sun. And then he sees this one guy, and he's got a few stones that are already complete and nice and square. And he's happy, and he's whistling, and he's very, very joyful, and he's still chipping away, but he's got a totally different attitude to the rest. So the wise man goes off to him and says, so what are you doing? And the man says, I'm building a cathedral. So the question that I have, are you excited about your purpose in life, or are you just chipping away at that stone, or are you building a cathedral? And I think this is something that we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be looking at your blueprint. And today I have 2 fantastic coaches with me, very knowledgeable and experts in their field. I have Willem Lombard. Now, Willem Lombard is a life energy coach, and he basically deals with energy, and he gets you all excited and make sure that you have the energy to actually chip away and actually build those stones for the cathedral. And then we've got Glenn Lees-Jones. Now, Glenn Lees-Jones is a gentleman that basically works with a fantastic tool called Map for Life, and it's about mapping your life. And these 2 gentlemen, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. And these 2 gentlemen are going to help us today to discover how to actually get our blueprint and our purpose in life, and how we can get excited about what we do as far as building our cathedral. So welcome to you. Let's ask Wilhelm to introduce himself. Over to you, Wilhelm. Thank you.
Good morning, David and Glenn, and everybody that is listening in. It's a great privilege to be here today again. What a wonderful day. Yeah, I'm a life energy coach. It's all about performance. Now, if you have the energy, you can perform at your very best. And one of the very important things is purpose, of course, because that gives you that energy, like that man in the story that David told. I, for many years, or more than 20 years, I'm actually working on life energy. I did a master's degree many years ago, and my research was done about why people suffer burnout or lack of energy, chronic fatigue, and so on. And then I decided to delve deeper into this whole thing. And over the years, I did lots of research, and I find that purpose, or rather that energy, is something more than just energy. It's about all your energy tanks. We got different life energy tanks, and the idea is to get those tanks filled. That's what balance in life actually is. It's about filling your energy tanks. I don't think there's something like work-life balance in a sense. It's if your tanks are filled, you can work 24/7 for that matter, although it's in practice it's not going to work that way. You need to fill your tank. And with that in mind, your performance will be much better. So it's all about energy. It's about performance in all facets of your life, and that's what interests me. And thank you for this opportunity to talk to you about all these wonderful energetic things.
Fantastic, fantastic. Wilhelm, really great to have you here today, and we're really looking forward to your expertise as far as finding your blueprint in your own life. So, welcome to the show. Let's introduce Glenn. Glenn, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, and yeah, over to you, Glenn.
Thanks, David, and welcome, Wilhelm, as well, and to all the listeners and everyone watching. Yes, Glenn is Jones. I do life and business coaching. I also do counseling and mentoring. Been involved in this for many years, since probably about 2013. And I happen to use a tool called Map for Life. I really believe it's a mandate from God himself that was given to another person by the name of Glenn McQuirk. He's the founder of Map for Life and started that back in 1990. In fact, it was prior to that, but the first book actually came out as far as Map for Life was concerned in 1990. And yeah, for me, it's all about purpose, actually discovering purpose and actually stepping into your destiny. And that's what I enjoy. That's what I love doing, is untapping the potential inside people and just getting it to be released. So that's me. Thank you very much. Looking forward to this conversation today.
Fantastic, fantastic. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at a few things. And this is part of a 5-part series. So we had last week, we had part 1. And today we're having part 2. So today we're specifically looking at the inner blueprint, unlocking the secrets within you for purposeful growth. And then we're going to look at learning from the creators, insights into the creators' intentions to light your path. And I think Glenn's going to give us some really good tips on that one. Then we're going to talk about the power of why. Asking why reveals your true purpose. We're going to discuss that. And then we're going to look at observation and curiosity, using your natural tendencies as clues for your own calling. And then the last, what we're going to look at is first steps in the discovery, practical steps to start your purposeful journey. So these are various things that we're going to be discussing over the next hour. So we aim to finish before 9. And so stay on, listen in, and hear what the experts have to say. Just before we go on to that, I'm David Bauer. I'm from the CEO Business Club. And what we do is help entrepreneurs, founders, business leaders, business owners, CEOs, CFOs to really understand how to use the capital mechanism to create abundance in your life. So I'll be adding a few tips regarding these various things in that aspect. And let's see how we go. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the inner blueprint, unlocking the secrets within you for personal growth. And I'm going to maybe ask Wilhelm if he wouldn't mind introducing the subject and actually then putting his comments in, then we'll go to Glenn after that. Over to you, Wilhelm.
Thank you, David. Yes, purpose is such a very important thing because we are all made for a reason. Everything on earth is made for a reason. Your toothbrush is made to brush your tooth. Although one can use it to clean the carburetor of your car or what other things. So we can be used for other things. And the problem that we sit with nowadays is it is as if people miss their purpose and they go purposeless through life. And that drains a lot of energy, or it's not releasing the energy that you need to have. And that's why it's so important to really to work on your purpose in life. Why on earth are you here? Because there's a reason. And I think one must also realize that it is not coming cheap. It's not easy. It's not that you just wake up one morning and now you know exactly what you are going to do in life and you follow that or pursue that purpose. It's something that you need to discover. It's like treasure. And you need to sometimes work through a lot of soil to be able to get to the gold or the diamond. And but the main thing is that when you discover your purpose, it gives you direction. It helps you to go in the direction you should go. Because sometimes, and especially nowadays, with all the information and all the wonderful things that we see on the internet, there's so many things that can distract us. And there's so many opportunities, and we can fall into the trap and really get sidetracked into a opposite direction. And then it costs us uh, not just money and time but energy, because if you don't fall into your direction or follow your purpose, it's tough, it's hard work. But the moment when you are in your purpose, it is as if things are easy, like that guy chipping away that stones. Now, the moment when he got a bigger mindset, he got a purpose, he got a reason for what he is doing. He was whistling, he was enjoying life, and that's exactly what purpose actually is. Is it energizes you with positive energy so that you can enjoy life. And yes, of course, chipping the stones is not easy. It takes energy. Takes blood, sweat, and tears. It's in the sun, hard work, but you enjoy what you do. And I think that is the main thing. I mean, I don't want to die and be at the last minutes of my life and said, oh my word, that was a waste of time. I should have done this or that or the other thing. And there's many people that that are there sometimes or get to that place where they say it was a waste of time. So that is what purpose in life is all about for me.
Thank you, Wilhelm. Yeah, I must say, for me, as you were saying, to discover your purpose is a bit of a. It's not just like it comes to you straight away, but it's normally. I'll give you an example. Now, this is a little bit different to finding your purpose, but just to give you an understanding. For example, I'm B positive. My blood group's B positive, and I read the book about food types, your blood type diet, and I read this book, and it basically started to identify, according to your blood group, what type of foods you should eat and what foods you shouldn't eat. Now, when I read it and I saw what I shouldn't be eating, I suddenly thought to myself, but those type of foods that they're listing, there are foods that I actually don't like anyway. So the thing is that it's inside you already, this whole blueprint. It's inside you. You just got to discover it and open your mind to it. And once you have that, then you'll discover it. So it's the same thing like this, the blood type diet book, where it said, for example, chicken is one thing I shouldn't eat. I don't really enjoy chicken. So there we have it. Pumpkin. I shouldn't eat pumpkin. I don't like pumpkin. So it was just there, but I just had to, become more aware of it. And that's the thing. Glenn, can you add some huge value here and some gems? Thank you. Over to you, Glenn.
Thanks, David. You don't like pumpkin, you don't like chicken. Crikey, we're going to have to pray for you, brother. It's one of my two favorite foods. So. All right. Gain insights into deciphering the blueprint within you and how to interpret it for your personal growth. That's really the question. And interesting enough, the Map for Life process that we work through, the methodology behind Map for Life, it's a 5-step methodology. Establish your position, figure out where you are right now. Because if you don't know where you are, you're going to battle to go to figure out where you're going to go. If you don't know where you are at the moment, how do you know where to move from in the first place to go to where you want to go. So establish your position, determine your destination, prepare an action plan, take meaningful action according to the action plan, record the results. That's the 5-step methodology behind it. The fascinating thing to me is that virtually every single time I've gone through this course, and I've done it several times, gone through, taken people on the course and been with them as well. And specifically when we do the mastery course, which is over 3 days, by the second day, normally about the middle of the second day, people get this aha moment. And the fascinating thing to me is that they always say to me afterwards, I actually knew it all the time. It was just a case of that it was blocked with all the obstacles, all the things around me, all the problems, all the worries, all the concerns, but I knew it all along. That's what my purpose was. That's what I wanted to do. It's really fascinating to me. And, so often I speak to people, and I normally ask them when I meet them for the first time, I say, so what's your purpose? And they look at me a little bit strange, and they go, well, what do you mean, my purpose? I said, well, what do you enjoy doing? What's your work situation like? What do you do? And they go, oh, no, I do this and this. And I say, fantastic, man, that's great. So do you enjoy it? And they go, well, no, not really. And then I say, but then why do you do it? And they go, well, it pays the paycheck at the end of the month. And the sad thing for me is that there are so many people in today's life that are working through that day after day after day after day. It's really very sad. And unfortunately, we have the wrong mindset and we fall into the wrong habits. And the Map for Life process actually helps you to move out of that situation, move into the correct habits, and move into a position where you're going to actually start focusing on your original purpose, on the original intent. I can talk so much more about this, but it is such an important aspect. If you think about it, Wilhelm spoke about that concept of that absolutely everything has been created for a purpose. So, why would I use a pen to stir coffee when I can use a spoon? Why would I dig in the soil when I can use a spade? When I'm using a pen there? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. And yet we go through life doing things from our own perspective that we're really not enjoying. We almost get to a point where we're hating every day going out to that work situation, and yet we continue to do it. It's really sad. And I think we need to get to that point where we really sit down and actually start making notes and start beginning to realize what exactly is it that really drives me? What is it that's my heart's desire? What is it that I really, really, really want in life? What do I want to do? And the fascinating thing is I sat yesterday with a client with a first coaching session. And I'm not going to say what he does, who he is, but he does certain things. And when I asked him, if I had 20 million rand in the bank right now, what would you do? Without even a hesitation, he told me. And I thought, man, that is like incredible. And so we started talking about it, and he started opening up. I mean, he just absolutely lit up. And that's the issue. That's the difference between the man chipping the stone and sweating and not working and really not enjoying it, and the guy who has the vision and the idea and the concept behind it. And he's going, I'm making a cathedral, man. This has got to be right. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be good. It's going to be great. That's the difference. So that's me. Thanks.
Thank you, Glenn. Great, fantastic. So that brings us to the next point, which is really about learning from, and I'm going to add in a word here, your creator. The insights into the creator's intentions to light your path. And I think the best person here to talk about that is Glenn himself. So Glenn, back to you.
You're making me work today, David. Yeah, interesting enough, when I read this question, learning from creators, there's obviously two ways to look at it. You can look at it from a perspective of your creator, whoever that may be. I see it as God Almighty. Other people might see it as someone else, and that's fine. I don't judge them for that. For me, it's definitely the creator. We need to look to the creator. I often talk about and use the word of God as an example, and I have specific things that I talk about when I'm talking about the word of God, how I actually prove to you from probability theory, etc., that it is the divinely inspired word of God. Now, again, that's your choice. You don't have to accept that. You don't have to believe it. For me, it's like gravity. Gravity works, and that's what works for me. On the other side of the scale, by the way, I could talk for the next 5 hours on that. I really could. I really get excited about that. But let's look at it from the perspective from man. And when I say man, I mean man and woman. creators, people that are creative, visionaries, people that have a creative mind. Many people have got creative minds. Other people are very focused on administration, on numbers, etc. We're all different. But here's the interesting thing, is that we all have something which God has given us, whoever you believe God to be. Every single one of us on this planet, I believe it's 8.2 billion people at this point in time, we have something called imagination. And I call it the biggest nation in the world. And we need to start using that imagination. Fascinating. Now, every time we start this conversation, the dogs start barking. I can't mute now, so they'll stop soon. Imagination is such an incredible, powerful tool, and we need to use it effectively. We need to actually start visualizing things and start looking to the future and seeing the invisible, but what we can see in our mind's eye. Sight is a function of the eyes. Vision is a function of the heart and the mind. And we need to really start using imagination effectively. We unfortunately tend to use it as nightmares. And we start worrying about all these things, and we start imagining all the things that can go wrong. Whereas we should be imagining all the things that can go right, all the things that can actually happen around us. And we need to start taking those ideas, putting pen to paper, writing it out, and mapping it out. And you will be fascinated at what actually takes place. And we can talk again for hours and hours about this. Just last point on this in terms of visionaries. If you are not a visionary yourself, you say, I don't get any visions, I don't understand that, and that's fine. Latch onto someone, find someone who is a visionary, and sit with them and glean from them, take ideas from them. I guarantee they will talk the hind leg of a donkey to you, and they will give you a whole bunch of ideas. Then take those ideas and get a team around you that can help you and support you in that, if you really have a problem in terms of that vision. And then it works. We can work together as a team, and we can actually combine those ideas, collaborate together, and we can really make a massive success out of it. So there we go. That's me. Thank you, David.
Thank you so much, Glenn. Great. Well, now I've had the fantastic experience of actually attending one of Wilhelm's vision boarding experiences. It's a workshop. It's basically a half-day experience, and I don't know if you can see, but there is my vision board there. Let me get the right thing. There you can see my vision board there. It's a bit, the light is not so good on it, but it's an experience, and I think this is where you can discover from within what your vision is. And the way that Wilhelm actually does this is actually amazing, because it's not about doing it digitally, it's actually doing it the old way. So I'm going to let Wilhelm describe what he does and how it actually can help you, because it's certainly helped me, and I'm really starting to discover, how I've actually achieved certain items on my vision board. So Wilhelm, over to you, mate.
Thank you, David. Yeah, I just want to start with what Green said, and it's absolutely true that God actually put a purpose in you. He made you for a purpose, and it's there. It's just the problem is we need to discover it, and that's why I said at the beginning it's hard work. It's not just easy, but it all starts with self-reflection and discovery. Now, so it begins. John Maxwell talk about knowing, growing, and sowing. Knowing yourself, growing as a person, and growing into your purpose, and then sowing the seeds that benefits others. Because purpose always has something to do with other people. It's not for yourself. It's not to become rich or very successful. You will, but it's all about being a person of significance. Being a person, it's about a legacy. It's something more. It's not for yourself. It's about other people, and that's why it's so important to do self-reflection and to really think about your value system. Now, when we talk about purpose, purpose is in your spiritual dimension, or as I call it, your spiritual energy tank. That's where purpose is. And that activates that energy there. So you need to find meaning and purpose, and that is also where your values are. I find nowadays that many people don't really have values anymore. They are the values of the world, the values of TV stars, the values of what they see on the television or on the internet or whatever. Those are some values that they sometimes follow, and it's all more about being like the celebrities or whatever now. And that are not the values that we need to follow. So it's maybe another job, another thing to really sit down and find your values. We need to help people to find their values again and determine what are important. And with that in mind, and your strengths that you have, and as you've mentioned with the eating, your diet and everything, what do you like, and what are those things that really make sense to you? And you will attract those things the moment when you start to fit in. Last week we talked about finding your shape, getting into the place where you actually need to fit in. The more you get into place, the more everything will work out for you. It doesn't mean that life will not be without its challenges and so on. It will be there, but it actually will energize you to take up the challenge and to say, listen, I'm going to sort this out because it's part of my purpose, it's part of who I am. So that's very important, and to align yourself with those values and your belief and all those things, because that gives you that authenticity, that gives you the authority to be whoever you are in whatever you do. In your business, being a leader, it doesn't matter if you are in a position of being a leader, but wherever you are, you must know we are all leaders wherever we are. Coming back to what you asked concerning the vision boarding. Now, it's very difficult for you to have a vision if you don't have purpose in life. But the one thing helps you to find the other. So when we do the vision board, I talk about a power vision board. I talk about energizing your energy tanks. Now, when I talk about energy tanks, it's your spiritual tank, your physical tank, your mental, your emotional, social, work, and finance. Those are the different energy tanks, and you need to fill those tanks. And when I do a vision board with people, I said, listen, okay, we must activate those energy tanks to find the vision. For instance, if you just think about the physical and you think about health and whatever, but you don't think about your purpose part or your emotional part, what actually make your heart beat warmly in a sense or whatever, then it's not going to work for you. Then often you make that vision board and it's on the wall, but you never look at it and you never follow that. I always say it's not about what's going on in your mind. We can decide we want to do something, but do I feel like doing it? You must have the feeling. The feeling is in your heart, and that's where your energy actually is. That's energy in motion. Emotion, energy in motion. And if you activate that tank, everything can change for you. So it's not easy, but it's possible to do all these things, to get in line, to open up your energy tanks, to activate those things so that you become a purposeful being and really enjoy life and do it with passion.
Thank you so much. Well, I must say, I would really recommend doing the vision boarding with the workshop with Wilhelm. It's really an excellent idea. And as he says, it does unlock, if you do it correctly, it does unlock that purpose, because suddenly you find things that, and one of the things Wilhelm didn't talk about is, he uses the methodology where he gives you a whole bunch of magazines, and then you go through those magazines. And as you're going through them, you see something that, oh, yeah, that's something I'd like to do, or that's something I like to do. And as you do that, you actually start to create your vision visually on basically a piece of cardboard or a poster board, and you actually start to put these in, and then you identify a word that like triggers something in your brain or makes you feel something, as he says, which is so important. and you actually start to understand. And from that, you can really discover your purpose in life and what you actually want to achieve and where you want to be. So I really recommend that. So let's go to the next thing. Now, the next thing is, Wilhelm, yeah, go for it, Wilhelm. You want to say
Just
something?
quickly, I just want to say what always fascinates me with that group vision boarding scene. Although everybody are there for their own vision and everything, but the moment when they are together and they page through these magazines and their hearts start to beat together, there's some energy, and it unlock other potential and things in that group, and that's what's so wonderful. Often people are doing their vision boards nowadays online, Canva or whatever, but it's an individual thing. But there's some other dynamic when it's in this group and you page through those pages. And that is very special. And I thought at the beginning, again, after I've done it for many years, I've done it. And then later on, I stopped doing it. And it was COVID and blah, blah, all those things. And we start doing things online. And then when I do it again, I realized, wow, this is so powerful when you do it in a group fashion and with the hearts working or beating together. There's another dynamic. Just a quick filler on that one. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Wilhelm. So the next thing that we need to look at is the power of why. And if some of you may have read my motivational post of Monday, every Monday I do a motivational post on LinkedIn. You're most welcome to go along and follow that, and you can go to my LinkedIn page. Please, if you haven't yet, please go and follow both Wilhelm and Glenn and myself on the LinkedIn, and as well as the Vision 2024 page. We've got a Vision 24 page, and we actually give a lot of information there. Wilhelm basically posts a post on, I do the motivational post on the Monday. Glenn does his Tuesday, what's it called? Tuesday Twist, which is a really great thing. He does a video actually, and he talks about some story or something that's really enlightening and can help you through your week. And then Wilhelm posts something on energy on a Wednesday, and then obviously Thursday we do this. So it's really great to come and join us. It's all it's available to you. So yeah, but let's go to have a look at this now. In my motivational post that I did on Monday, I spoke about the why leads to the what. And, you can't have the what first. You need the why first. Why are you doing something? Why are we here on this platform talking to you right now? That's a big question. And I think each of us have got a different aspect to that. And my big why I'm here is because I want to enlighten you as the listener. I want to enlighten you with ideas and pass on my knowledge to you. I've been alive for now. We're all in our 60s. We're all three wise men. And, we've got a lot of knowledge, and, it's useless that all this knowledge is going to stay in our brains and die. So the idea that we are doing here is actually to pass that knowledge on to you. And that's why we host this platform. That's the reason why I host the platform for you. And that's why I'm here on every Thursday morning, to come along and actually depart information to you. Because one day, guess what's going to happen? There are going to be worms eating all this knowledge away. And then it's gone forever. So why not give it away? Someone said to me, you accumulate things up until the age of 50. You accumulate stuff, and then after 50, you actually then start giving it away. And I think that's very wise words, very wise words. And that's actually a guy called Dr. Wong. He's actually coming to South Africa next week to teach us some wonderful things on the CEO Business Club. He teaches a capital mechanism. He's basically an 18 times unicorn. It's taken 18 businesses to IPO for over $1 billion. So it's going to be fascinating listening to him again. Anyway, besides that, now we're going to talk about the power of why. Asking why reveals your true purpose. So I'd like Glenn to talk a little bit about this. Glenn, over to you.
Thanks, David. You know, this reminds me so much of the late Dr. Miles Monroe, and especially with what you were talking about now, is that he often says that the richest place on earth is not the gold mines, the coal fields, or the diamond mines, or anything to that effect. It's actually the graveyard. Because so many people have gone to the graveyard with all the thoughts, the ideas, the imagination, the visions, and they've gone to the grave with that. So I say, go to the grave empty. Take it all out and give it away. But, you know, and I think when it comes down to that, asking that question, why, I think it is such an important aspect. We need to be asking the question why. And the sad thing is as children, one of the very first questions that we start asking as a child is, why? And we tend to ask it over and over and over and over again. And I can understand that it gets a bit frustrating for parents. But the fact of the matter is that most parents will then tell the child to either shut up or just, you know, go and play outside or go and play on the laptop or whatever it might be. And they're not actually grabbing that opportunity to actually start talking to the child and giving knowledge once again out for that child. They can grow to such an extent. They are like sponges at that point in time. And unfortunately, we tend to put them down. You know, oftentimes we will say to the child, for crying out loud, just stop asking me why all the time. Just go and play in your room or go and play outside. I remember my folks always used to say something to me. They said, because why is a crooked letter in your car make it straight? And I could never understand. I mean, I walked away scratching my head and thinking, what the heck does that mean? You know, why is a crooked letter? Trying to figure out, but why W? I couldn't understand that. But you know, it's such an important question that we need to be asking. And Simon Sinek often talks about this as well. What is your why? What is your reason for living? What is your reason for breathing every single day? What is it that drives you? Again, we can turn this into a negative, and oftentimes we go through challenges and we start asking the question, why me? Why me? And oftentimes we tend to add a word in that we go, why me, God? Or why me, Lord? Maybe we should turn that around and say, well, why not me? Because we can learn from those issues and things that take place. And we can help others as they go through those challenges because we've been through it ourselves. And one of my Tuesday twists, I spoke about the concept of the tree, that there's stress factors in the tree when there's wind, and it helps it to be strong in terms of the storms and weathering the storms. And that's exactly what it's about as far as I'm concerned. It's going through those challenges and helping you to weather the storms, making you strong in terms of your character and everything else, so that once again, you can help other people. It's not just about you all the time. And I think to end off in terms of questions is that mustn't just be about why. It can also be about what can I learn from this? If you can start asking those questions and general questions about that, it can make a massive difference. Here's an interesting thing. We often think that we can't go to God and start asking a whole bunch of questions because, you know, he's God. What do you want to disturb God for? Yet in his word, in the Bible, Matthew 7, verse 7, it says, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened. And within that verse, there's another ask. If you write down the word ask, seek, and knock underneath each other. So at the top, you write ask, then right underneath it, you write seek, right underneath it, you write knock. The very first letter of each of those words spells out the actual word ask once again. So there's a double ask within that situation. And so I get the feeling that God is saying, come and ask me, I want to give to you. And not only that, I think if we start asking the questions and asking the right questions, we can glean and gain information to such an extent, it will help us and support us in the things that we need to do to actually discover that purpose. And that's at the end of the day what's important. Great.
Wow, thank you. That's amazing. I love that. Ask. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Glenn. Fantastic gems there. Wilhelm, over to you, mate.
Yeah, while you are asking these questions, it reminds me of this story of this priest that was in the war, the German war, and one evening he went out to go to one of his people of his congregation, and then the German soldier stopped him, and he said, "Who are you?" And he told him, and then he said, "Where are you going?" And he tell him, and then he said, "Why are you going there?" Now, the first question, "Who are you?" is a question of identity. who are you? And I must say, there was a time when I was in the recruitment industry, IT recruitment, and one of the most difficult questions that I could ask anybody is, tell me, who are you? It's easy to say I'm Wilhelm Lombard or this and that, and I stay there and this and whatever. But tell me, who are you really? Who are you? Tough question. And that is the big problem that people sit with. They don't know who they are. And it's an identity crisis. So you will never find your purpose if you don't know who you are. And then the next question, where are you going? What's your destiny? That's a question of destiny. Where are you going with your life, with your family, with your health, with your spiritual life, with your social life? Can you see? I bring in the energy tanks again. Because with your finances, with your work, where are you going? And then, why are you going there? And that's the question of purpose. So, in any of these facets or dimension, life dimensions, or then, as I call it, energy tanks, I must ask those questions because that will give me purpose in that tank, and that will fill my energy tank and give me much more energy to, at the end of the day, perform at my very best. So that's my take on the questions, on asking.
Wow, thank you, Wilhelm. So the next thing is about, which I think is very powerful, is observation and curiosity. Now, obviously, we've already covered a little bit of this because we've spoken about the vision boarding and, going around and asking about, as Glenn was talking about. Now, the thing is that, as I was saying, with the blood group diet for me, when I read the book, suddenly I became more aware that, okay, that's maybe why I don't like eating chicken, and I don't really like pumpkin. I do like pumpkin fritters though, but that's a mixture. But just keeping that as a, if anyone's listening who's going to not give me pumpkin fritters, because my partner in life makes the most amazing pumpkin fritters, so I don't want to lose on those. Anyway, but the thing is that you need to actually be curious. If you're sitting here and you're listening to us and saying, well, I don't actually know what my purpose is, I don't enjoy my job, I don't enjoy this, I don't actually enjoy, then maybe you should really think about what you do like doing. It's like me, for example. Now, when I came out of matric, I had to go to the army. I spent 2 years there. And when I came out, my big thing that I wanted to do at that time was to actually go traveling overseas. But my parents said, no, you need to go to university. And one of my dreams was to become a viticulturist, which is a winemaker. Now, and I had the opportunity. My grandparents actually owned a wine farm, so there was an opportunity for me to actually become a viticulturist and actually, go into the family business and make wine. However, my dad, bless his soul, said, no, I think you must go along and get something else, another degree. So obviously he knew something in the background, and he said, no, you must go and do a building science degree. Now, because as a child, I used to go along and build these little, my little house at the back, and I'll take a piece of wood and I'll build something. He thought, now that is what my purpose in life is, to do building. Really? So I followed someone else's dream. I didn't follow my dream. And if I'd actually followed my dream, I would be in a very different place to where I am today. I've been in a very different place. Can you imagine, being a winemaker, making wine, living in the beautiful Western Cape? I mean, what a different life I would have had, But anyway, that wasn't to be. So the question is to actually be open to your own mind of what you're on and not be influenced by what other people are saying. So that's really important. I'd like Glenn's point of view on this. Over to you, Glenn.
Thanks, David. Such a pity about the wine. Man, I would have enjoyed that. This is such an interesting question, an interesting aspect. There's a saying, curiosity killed the cat. And once again, as parents, we tend to say that to children all the time and tell them to keep quiet because they're asking so many questions and they're so curious about everything. But again, I say, wrong thing to do. That's the worst thing that you can do in terms of saying curiosity killed the cat. I believe we need to be curious. I believe we've been created to actually be curious, to actually learn, to grow, to learn things. And it's such a fascinating thing. We have incredible minds. And I mean, we all know that we use less than a tenth of our brain. And I think if we can actually get to that point where we really start asking questions and start being curious about things, it'll make such a difference as we're growing up. We are so blocked and so suppressed as children in today's times, and even in the education system. And it's really quite sad. But I think from the perspective of someone that's now sitting in a position where they're saying, I'm in a work situation, it's paying the paycheck at the end of the month, I don't know what my purpose is, where do I go from here? I basically say to people, you need to actually literally take time off, sit down somewhere where it's quiet, take a good cup of coffee or water or whatever, maybe a glass of wine, and sit down with a blank piece of paper and a pen and just start writing down a whole bunch of ideas and thoughts, and just do a whole bunch of brainstorming and continue to do that. And if you don't get anywhere, that's fine. And do it again another time. I'm telling you now, I can guarantee you will come up with ideas sometimes that will astound you. And it'll automatically start allowing the gifts and talents that God has already placed inside you, because He's placed it there already. The gifts and desires in your heart that will start coming out, and you'll actually start getting a theme coming through. And from there, you can actually start working through to get to that idea of the imagination, the dream, the vision, and the direction you want to go in. And it's probably one of the quickest and easiest ways to do it. It can literally happen within minutes. It sometimes takes days, sometimes it takes months. For me, the fascinating thing is that I honestly believe with all my heart that the purpose is already inside us. It's already been gifted inside us. We need to discover it. And if we just focus on it, guess what happens? If you focus on something, guess what happens? If you start looking at a red car and you say to yourself, you want a red car, guess what's going to happen? You're going to see red cars everywhere. And that's the issue. That's what you need to be focusing on. Not the red car, but the purpose, the idea, the concepts. What is it that really gets you excited? And this is about the curiosity. Be curious about it. Be curious about life. Be curious about the things that you've done in the past. Because don't write anything off. I don't believe that anything should be a regret. We can learn from absolutely everything. And that's my take on it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, wow. Thank you, Glenn. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. Wilhelm, we've got, I think, 12 minutes left before 9 o'clock. So we're going to start wrapping up. Wilhelm, would you like to maybe have a quick word on this subject?
Thank you, David. Yes, the question that I ask myself lately more often than none is that, my life, your life, is your responsibility. Nobody else's. It's your responsibility. Your purpose is your responsibility. What are you going to do about your life? And that's the reason, the purpose for us being here. Well, from my point of view, I want you guys to come and attend our workshop on the 6th of April. Because that is a way to take responsibility, to take action, to do something about your life, and to find your purpose or whatever. You will learn so much on that. And the fascinating thing about our workshop is it doesn't matter who you are, where you are in life. You can even be just a housewife or not in a profession, or you can be a CEO of a company. It will help you. It will unlock certain things in your life, and it will open up your mind. So that's my purpose, to get you there, to say, listen, I invite you guys to take responsibility for your own life. It's It's actually a giveaway. It's very affordable. You will get much more value for your money. It will be the best time you spend for yourself. And that's the important thing. Remember, you are the most important person in your life, and you need to invest in your life. The thing is, when we think about purpose, purpose gives you a reason to get up in the morning. Do you still have a reason to really get up in the morning? Do you still have that energy? Maybe you need to come to our workshop and just unlock your potential again, discover your purpose again, or whatever you need. I can promise you, you will not be disappointed. So come and join us and get your energy back and perform the best you can. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah. I must say, we've hosted these events they're at Casablanca Manor. It's a little bit out of Pretoria, not far. We go there. It's a beautiful setting. Kobus gives us a fantastic meal. He looks after as far as food is concerned. You don't eat beforehand because he gives fantastic meals. And the whole idea is not only just to feed your body, but also to feed your soul and to feed your spirit and your mind. And I think that's the most important thing, to actually come and join us on that day. You can hear the value that we're giving right here now, and every Thursday. And obviously, what we're going to be talking about here is not what we talk about there. We talk about something different there, but that is really to activate who you are and what you need to do to actually achieve what you want to achieve in your vision for 2024. The big question here for me is always, it's great to have these ideas, but if you don't have the system and the methodology to apply it, it's going to go nowhere. And that's what we actually do at that workshop. We actually give you those tools so that you can actually apply it into your life. And it's from it's from three different points of view. It's from a business point of view, an energy point of view, and a plan activation point of view. And you can actually see who the different people here are that actually teach that. So, and that's why we've actually put this group together, because I don't know everything. And each of us have very special niches that we serve. So that is why we actually bring the three of us together to actually give you huge value on that day. So you're basically getting three coaches giving you huge value on that one Pacific day together. So thank you very much. Now, the next thing, obviously, that we're going to talk about, and this is something we're going to cover over next week, and as a start of that process, is the first steps to discovery, practical steps to start your purposeful journey. And these are steps that we're going to be teaching you next week. So please come on the show and tell your friends and bring your colleagues and all those various people that you think can actually benefit from this. We're going to be talking about practical steps of how to actually go about actually defining what your purpose is and how to activate it. Obviously, there's a section, it's over 5 different days that we're doing this. So next week's the middle, which is the third week, and that's where we're going to reveal some of these tools to you. From this point, we've got 7 minutes left. I'm just being mindful of the time. And I'd like maybe Glenn to give us a synopsis of today. And then I'm going to ask Glenn, Wilhelm to do the same. And then I'm going to show you the video to inspire you. And we'll see you next week. So Glenn, over to you.
Thanks, David. We've spoken about so many different things, and I want to actually give so much information, but obviously we're running out of time here. But I want to reiterate what Wilhelm spoke about, and David, just in terms of the workshop. Really be there. You can gain some incredible insights. And the fascinating thing is that we also gain insights from the people in the workshop as well. It's amazing what comes out, because it's a workshop. It's not just a lecture. So you can really enjoy it. Trust me, it's absolutely worthwhile. I think to end off, I'd just like to mention this very quickly. I talk about MAP all the time, and mapping your life and MAP for life. We also have the acronym MAPD, MAPD, Are you mapped? And there's various acronyms and various words that we use. But one of the things that I want to talk about very quickly, which I'm just going to touch on, but I'll go into more detail when we're actually at the workshop. So here's a little bit of a teaser. Stands for mandated. You are mandated. You are anointed. You are provisioned. And you are destined, and you will be deployed into your purpose. So it's mandated, anointed, provisioned, destined, and deployed. And I'll go into a lot more detail about that. It actually fascinating what comes out of that. So thank you very much, David. Thanks, Willem. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Fantastic. Wow. Yeah, I must say that's so powerful. You know, I had the Map for Life book for some time. I can show you my book. So here it is here. Okay. And this one here, I was actually gifted in 2023. And the big problem was, guess what I did? I saw this, said, I think my leather Maxwell diary is better than this. And I went and put it in the shelf. Guess what? I didn't know what I was missing out on. Because then Glenn took me through it one day. And I suddenly said, but sure, I'm wasted 2023. I should have used this book. I would have mapped my life for 23 and achieved what I needed to do. So be there, because Glenn gives a whole lot of tips of how to use this book, and he will actually show you what it's about and how to use it. Fantastic book. I love it. So I'm using it very extensively now, and I've got the updated one. I'm not using this one. I'm using 2024 now. Well, Helen, over to you.
Yes, thank you, David. Yeah, I just want to say that purpose emerges from actions and choices that you make in line with your principles or good principles. So looking forward to see you guys on the 6th of April to talk to you more about the things that are really important in life, and things that and the ways how to energize yourself and be the best person that you can be, performing at your very best. Looking forward. Have a great energetic day, and thank you, David and Glenn. This was a great chat today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wilhelm. So my question to you today, and my takeaway, are you just chipping away at the stone, or are you actually building a cathedral? What are you doing? And I think I want to leave that with you. And one other thing, obviously, if you'd like to join us on the 6th of April, it's a Saturday. So 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock. It's a long day, but don't worry, we feed you, and we feed you both, as I said, your body, your mind, your soul, and give you lots and lots of tools to create and ensure that you actually meet your vision for 2024. But that link will be in the comments below. So remember, are you chipping away at the stone, or are you making a cathedral? What are you doing? Cheerio, everyone. Enjoy the video, and take care. And we'll see you next week, this time when we meet with you again, Thursday, 8 o'clock. Invite your friends, tell people about it, and enjoy. Cheerio.
Picture this. It's the dawn of 2024 and you're poised for success. Why? Because you've established your why. This isn't just a whim or a hobby. It's the passion that propels you forward, the core of your ambition. Next, you assess your current position. Where do you stand? What are your strengths, your weaknesses? Honesty is key here. Now, envisage your destination. What do you want to achieve by the end of this year? Set those goals. Make them smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. With your destination locked, it's time to map out your plan. Break down your goals into manageable steps, then start stepping. Remember, action without reflection is aimless. Record your results, analyze your performance, and adjust your plan accordingly. The path to success in 2024 isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Take meaningful action, keep your eye on the prize, and continually strive for improvement. Here's to a successful 2024.